We are celebrating Western New York and Native American Heritage Month.
And more than 2 years ago, you'll remember the federal government announced an investigation into the Indian residential school program. And while that investigation has yet to lead to any concrete legislation, it has led to discussion and more people rediscovering their culture and also their pride.
This means the absolute world to me.
For the first time ever, the purple and white Hiawatha Belt flag of the Haudenosaunee flies over Niagara Square. In a ceremony earlier this month, Native culture took center stage, from opening prayers in traditional language to ceremonial dancing.
Today, as we gather here, I just want us to think what this flag raising means. It means that today we are taking one more step closer towards Indigenous visibility. It is a reminder that we are still here.
It's also an indication that even though no concrete legislation has been adopted as a result of the Department of Interior's investigation into the Indian residential school program, it has nonetheless had an impact.
It honestly just opens up the conversation. A lot of times these things go undiscussed in the community, and that just, it lends a hand to just a lot of hurt and a lot of trauma that doesn't lend to public displays like this, right? Public displays of pride. In those schools, people were not proud to be who they were. If they spoke their culture, if they spoke their language, if they celebrated their culture at all, they were punished for it.
It has had a lot of people talking about their experiences and reclaiming their culture.
This is the first time the Haudenosaunee flag has flown at Niagara Square, and this is not something that my parents had seen in their lifetime, so I'm incredibly proud.
Bruce Wallace is the Native American Resource Coordinator for Buffalo Public Schools. He's also a member of the Unkechaug Nation on Long Island.
Little by little, steps are happening, things are changing, and hopefully we can have some policies and laws here change that will be more beneficial to our students.
The Buffalo Public Schools Chief Academic Officer Ann Botticelli says one thing that is changing is the way Native history is taught.
We think it's important that everyone is aware of not only local history, but the important cultures that have developed and created the United States, and the Haudenosaunee are obviously a part of that.
In recent years, in particular, since the issue of Indian residential schools was thrust into the public awareness, the curriculum has changed in Buffalo schools, even incorporating portions of the 2021 Two on Your Side documentary, Tragic Legacy.
We have a culturally and linguistically responsive initiative across the district, and as part of that, we also want to raise awareness about the boarding schools and the experiences students had, but also the beautiful Haudenosaunee culture.
And as for legislative action, a bill called the Truth and Healing Commission on Indian Boarding School Policies Act was passed in committee in the Senate. It hasn't been brought up for a full vote in the Senate. It hasn't even been introduced in the House, but it has at least got people talking and, on the nation and just sharing stories with family and what people went through.
And they are tragic stories to hear. You did such a great job, Pete, covering that story in depth, and you can find all of your stories that you covered on WGRZ.com.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is time.